J.D. Vance is a troll, so I really don't want to give these comments more air than necessary because that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to sit around and talk about the most incendiary things that he says.
J.D. Vance, by extension,
Stands
I guess.
by all that?
He does actually stand by the fact that 9/11 was an inside job. It was a conspiracy theory that these mass shootings are done by the government.
Republicans, meanwhile, are sending a pretty pricey rescue squad to Ohio to try to salvage J.D. Vance's Senate campaign.
Desperation, you're not surprised. J.D. Vance joins us now. It's good to have you back on. Good to see you again. It's pretty amazing, even with the state of the country and what the other party has done to it, that they can still manage to get more favorable coverage than Republicans.
Yeah, it really is crazy, Rob. And if you think about what they've done, they've completely tanked the American economy. They've caused a massive inflation crisis. They've completely waged a war on America's police officers, which has driven violent crime through the roof. And on top of all of it, they've opened our border to a ton of illegal drugs, of fentanyl, and of sex trafficking into our community. So it's maybe not surprising, Rob, that instead of defend their own record, they can't defend the indefensible. They decide to attack people like me, slander me. But the good news, Rob, is that the media elites don't get to decide this election. The voters of Ohio do. And I think we're a lot wiser in Ohio than people give us credit for, which is why we're winning this race. And I think on November the 8th, we're going to win it in a very big way.
It's going to be an interesting finish here for all Republicans as we watch this all come together. Your opponent, as you said, the Democrats are not very popular in the state of Ohio. Why would they be? Tim Ryan, pretending he's basically not a Democrat, also wants nothing to do with Joe Biden. Take a listen.
I'm guessing you're not inviting the president to join you here in the campaign trail anytime soon?
No, I am not.
Comparing that with his past statements like this one, take a look.
If elected president, will you commit to decreasing the federal prison population by 50%, yes or no?
I don't know what the exact numbers are, but significantly for legalizing of marijuana, decriminalizing, and getting those people out. So I don't know exactly what the number is, but yeah.
We really want a yes or no question.
Yes.
So who is your opponent really? Well, who he really is, Rob, is a guy who votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Not 98% of the time, actually 100% of the time. He supported the defund the police movement. He supported letting violent fentanyl dealers out of prison. He supported actually opening the southern border and giving amnesty to millions of illegal aliens. And he supported actually all of the inflationary policies of the Biden administration, from the 87,000 IRS agents to the raising of taxes on middle-class Ohioans. Now, what he pretends to be, Rob, is a reasonable conservative. You would believe, if you just watch his TV commercials, that the guy is somehow a Republican, and yet in reality, he votes the party line every single step of the way. This is one of the reasons why, Rob, I'd ask people to go to jdvance.com and figure out ways of getting involved. It's because if we tell the truth in Ohio, we're going to win this race in a big way. We can't let Tim Ryan run away from his record.
What do you think? What do you think happened in the last week or two? Not just your race, all the tight races seem to have made a major swing back towards Republicans. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, Rob, what I think is happening is the media is waking up to the fact that this was always going to be a red wave. I don't know that much has actually changed other than the way that the press has covered the election. I think the closer we get to November the 8th, the more that we realize people are not going to reward the Democrats for causing the inflation, the crime, and the border crisis. And so the media is trying to scramble a little bit and figure out how to correct the narrative they've been telling for the past couple of months that Republicans are in trouble. The simple question is this, Rob. Do you want higher crime or lower crime? Do you want lower inflation? Do you want a secure southern border? If you want those things, you've got to vote for Republicans. And I think a lot of people recognize exactly that.
J.D. Vance running in Ohio 1 week out. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.